if conservative Canadians are able to reframe the immigration debate around what we actually care about and not allow the liberals to grab the frame and say that we're racist, xenophobes, these buzzwords that liberals always use, it is going to make a huge difference. I don't care if you're Black Canadian and Indian Canadian, all different cultures, all type of people are what make this country great. The issue is that our federal government's primary responsibility should be to the Canadian citizens who are already here. And I don't think there's any debate that the immigration that we have seen in particular over the past 5 years has been incredibly damaging to the average Canadian citizen. Now, of course, not to Mark Carney and the liberal elites ilk. They've made money hand over fist. I mean, Brookfield Asset Management is up over 45% since Carney was elected prime minister. Immigration, if you are a massive condo owner or a massive house owner, as Brookfield Asset Management is, this mass immigration has been fantastic. But for your average middle or lower class Canadian, this has nothing to do with racism or not wanting an Indian to come into Canada. This has to do with, we need to reframe this debate. This is about the Canadian government putting the Canadian people first. And there is no debate, absolutely no debate, that this onslaught, this unprecedented immigration of 4 straight years of over 1 million immigrants coming into Canada has been atrocious for your average middle or lower class Canadian. The economic data, I'm not going to go through every point, but it's indisputable. Whether you look at the exploding home and rental prices throughout Canada, whether you look at our healthcare services that are totally overrun, the average wait time, depending on where you are in the country, is between 12 and 24 hours. 7.1% unemployment rate in Canada, which if you look at the real unemployment rate and include the people who have dropped out of the workforce altogether, most economists estimate it's probably closer to 10% in Canada. 22% unemployment rate among young males. It has been an economic catastrophe. And on the cultural side, I'm sorry, but these hate mobs walking through our streets that I've seen for the past 2.5 years, CBC, CTV will gaslight you, will lie to you and say they are peaceful protests. I've seen these up close. These are straight up anti-Canadian, rolling fake body bags on the street, fake blood on their hands, chanting intifada in our lifetime, which means violent revolution. This is not the Canada that I knew and grew up with. So we need to reframe this immigration debate, because I know it's a winning issue, but the vast majority of Canadians that I know, the vast majority, think that this immigration onslaught that the liberals have brought over the past 6 years has been horrible for the country, but they get cowed, they get scared. They're so worried about getting called a racist or a xenophobe. That's what the liberals do. They weaponize these words so that if any criticism whatsoever of immigration, they automatically go, you're a racist, you're a xenophobe. No, this is a debate about the primary responsibility of our federal government, which is to ensure as best they can that if citizens work hard, if you put in an honest day's work, you're going to be able to live a decent life in this country. And that promise has been broken 6 ways to Sunday by the Liberal Party of Canada. You look at it in 2015 when Justin Trudeau was elected, our GDP per capita, which is the best measure of how your average citizen is doing in this country, was about on par with the United States, about on par with the US. We fell off a cliff. We have fallen off a cliff. GDP per capita, the US is over 30% ahead of us now. And that is directly tied to these insane immigration numbers. So the government of Canada is literally abstaining on their primary responsibility, which is to provide economic opportunities for Canadians who are willing to work hard, as well as protecting us. It's just a fact. They'll call you racist, they'll call you xenophobe. It's just a fact that in correspondence with our suddenly massive immigration rates, violent crime rates across this country are up tremendously. in Ottawa, where you know they're going to jig the stats as much as they can, the police department just came out and said in the past decade alone, crime rates across the board are up 63%. That's a massive jump. Now, any Canadian who has lived their entire life in this country will tell you that the streets are wildly different. Whether you're in Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, this country has transformed radically and not for the better. And it's due to liberal policies like safe supply. The amount of open crack smoking that you now see in our cities, it would have been shocking 10 years ago. Now it's just another normal day in Ottawa. And I'm just talking, this is only a couple blocks away from the Parliament building. So the debate needs to be reframed, because right now, first of all, the Liberals have the advantage of, despite the fact that more Canadians than ever prioritize immigration as one of their top 3 issues, as well as the fact that a record number of Canadians are against immigration. The CBC, CTV, Global News refuse to do any coverage on immigration. It's hilarious. They will cover the most inane, useless, pointless stories ad nauseum. Go visit the CBC's website. I guarantee you it's a bunch of junk. They won't even touch the immigration issue. That is a good sign for us, though, because it goes to show, to a degree, they know how dangerous it is. They know how much of a loser it is for them. But we need to frame this as it's about it's about the economics and the safety of the Canadian people. This is not, don't let them say, oh, that makes you a hateful person. Because it has absolutely nothing to do with that. It has to do with saying, look, if I work hard, I want to have a chance to have a reasonable life. I want to have a chance to have a life somewhat similar to my parents. I'm not saying I have to be the wealthiest guy in the world, but I want to have a chance at a decent life. And we have been sold out by these global elitists. Looking to Carney, looking to Trudeau, their connections with the WF, Davos. These are not organizations that are concerned with middle and lower class Canadians. In fact, the opposite. They think we're peasants. They think we're plebs. This has to be the top issue moving forward. Mark Carney wants to bring in another 1.5 million people in 2025, despite the fact that a record number of Canadians are against this mass immigration. It's time to stand up with our chest out. Don't be scared. Don't cow to these people. It's the absolute worst thing you can do. And say with your chest out, make an economic argument, make a cultural argument for why immigration is good. I will debate that every day and twice on Sunday, because I know that I'm in the right and you're in the wrong. We're the ones who are actually fighting for middle and lower class Canadians. Excited to update you guys on the Fight for Canada Party. Have submitted the paperwork. The process takes a little while, but updates are coming. Really excited to be able to actually get out with some weight behind me and criticize this insane Liberal government. And immigration is a winning issue. We just need to frame it correctly. Please like, share, subscribe, join, become a member. Grab some gear. Really appreciate the support. Thanks so much. Talk soon.